Hey guys, welcome to Super Intelligence Unlocked. Today's video is going to be on why short people are bad people, morally bad people, in terms of, outcomes, in terms of successes. And yeah, it's going to be on those two things. And so now well, it's kind of a holistic theory, if that makes sense. Explaining the one is going to explain the other, if that makes sense. Yeah, I think okay. So I'm going to explain. I'm not. I'm going to like kind of just start talking about it, and then it's going to explain both. So the first thing I want to put out of the way though is I don't care about being a good person. I don't. If someone's a bad person, that doesn't mean I'm not going to be friends with them, or that doesn't like or like literally like you can be a good like the only thing like if someone's a good person, all that means to me is they just follow I mean objective morality obviously isn't true, and so if you're a good person, that just means you follow the rules, you follow the laws. And so maybe I'd rather have a contract with a good person because they'd be more likely to follow their end of the contract. But I don't think it actually has any objective bearing on their value as a person. In fact, I might somehow want to double cross someone who is gonna break my contract or something like that, you know what I mean? So anyways, sorry, there's the edge of my nose. Anyways, so good people. Okay, so yeah, short people. So short people. Here's the thing: is we all know that we all know athletes are tall. We all know CEOs and business people are tall. We all know that actors are tall. We all know that musicians, I think, are tall, and I'm pretty sure scientists are tall because it's the same thing as the CEOs. And so successful people are tall. So that's the main thing you need to know. Successful people are tall. So I have a handful of theories about why that is. The main one is if your soul. So when you're growing as a human, it's kind of like your soul is like your soul is kind of expanding out from the corpus of your body, and it needs to keep taking space until it does you stop growing as soon as your soul like can't take more space. And so when you're dealing with someone who's short, you're dealing with someone who had a soul which ran out of strength and couldn't keep expanding, right? And so that's the main theory of why it happens. Yeah, that's the main theory that like scientists and like I'm kind of on right now. But yeah, that's why short people are dumber and not as successful and smart. But also just like because of that, short people, they want to. It's like the worst thing you can be is short. I mean, you can like think of you try you can make like a if I were to make a any other like marginalized group in society, if you were to make like a club, you'd be fine to do that. Like you could have veterans, or you could have obviously like any cultural group or any ethnicity, like you'd have a club to do that. If you try to make a short people club, you would literally it would be like joining a crooked teeth club. It would like be joining an ugly club. It would like be joining a smelly club. It would be like joining a jump off a cliff club. It would be like just something. There's something you would literally be putting a target on your back immediately by doing that. It's one of the being short is one of the most easily ridiculed things in society, because people can immediately recognize if you were short that you had one of these souls, even if they don't understand that exact mechanism. They can understand, oh, typically people who are short, they had the bad souls that couldn't keep growing, and that's why. And so yeah, so because of that, because society kind of looks down on short people, they are given less opportunities, even beyond the fact that their souls are weaker. They're just given less opportunities, right? Sorry if you didn't know that, but yeah, they're given less. They're people like they get that's the thing, is it's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy in that if you're short now, people are going to think you're not going to be very successful, so you're going to be even less successful, and then that means that people in the future are going to think short people aren't successful, and so they're going to become even less. Yeah. So anyways, that yeah, I think that's what I don't remember exactly what I was saying with that. Um, yeah, so anyways, if you're short, you're going to be stupider, and you're going to be worse, and you are going to be ridiculed by society, because there is nothing worse than you can be than the someone who is literally objectively. I mean, if you have two people and they're identical twins, but one of them was 2 inches taller, unless they were like I guess like 7'10" or something, then the person who was taller would be worse, would be objectively better every single time, objectively. So because you were like objectively worse than other people, if when you're short, that means that you were going to be ridiculed, and obviously you can't make a short club. I don't remember exactly where it was. Oh yes. So anyways, yeah. So you're going to go through society, and you're going to feel like you have been robbed, and you can just tell something subtly as often, even if you don't realize that your life is bad because you're short. You're going to just feel like if something else in my life was different, and I don't really know what it is. Maybe if you weren't 5'6" or something. Like, oh, if 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 my life was better in this way, then I wouldn't be miserable right now, and I just can't tell what that is. And so, anyways, they're going to take this misery, and sometimes people say like misery, breed. If you're, no, miserable people do miserable things and they act miserably, and they're going to feel ripped off by society, and they're going to feel like the game is kind of rigged. And I mean, good for them. Good for, if you think that, I mean, honestly, kind of like, you're not a chum. They kind of like become black pilled and red pilled and stuff. And that's good. That's good. You want to be kind of red pilled about society. You want to know like, oh, the laws are kind of just all made up and they don't really, like, they're not good. Like, you're just following them to not get caught. And it's all rigged against you in the system. Like, that's a good, again, that's why I'm saying, like, they're not, like, there's no good or bad. There's no good or bad. It's, like, honestly, like, in a sense, it's kind of, like, better that they're being bad and breaking the rules. So, anyways, yeah, so short people, they're going to feel like something's been robbed against them, and they're going to feel like the rules in society are not set up because it's clearly, fucking them over. And so what are they going to do? They're going to break the laws, and they're going to feel less conducive to following rules, and they're going to be bad people more often. And so, yeah, so that's why they are bad people more often than not. And so what do you do with this information? Well, that's the important thing is, so because obviously, like, it doesn't matter if someone's a good or bad person. Like, there's no, like, you're not going to just, you don't decide if someone goes to heaven or hell, right? That's not like your job. So what do you do with this information is basically you're going to use it in these prudential ways. And so the main way you're going to do this is, well, one, so if you're short, and you're not already breaking the rules, what the hell are you doing? But yeah, so if you're short, that's like so here the takeaways are going to be if you're short or tall. So if you were short, I guess watch out for other short people a little. And, tall people are naive, and you can kind of like, they're going to, they're never going to, they're trustworthy. They're kind of like lapdogs in a sense, because everything's been so easy for them and so free for them that they'll just follow any, sort of convention society set up for them normally. So yeah. That's what I guess the takeaway is if you're short. If you're tall, though, there's actually kind of a lot more takeaways. So because even then, again, this is kind of like subconscious sort of stuff. But, short people are especially going to be more likely to break the rules and, like, murder and kill and, like, break, lie and cheat and steal. And they're going to be especially likely to do that to tall people, because even if they don't consciously recognize it, they realize that these people have it better than them for some reason, and that it's unfair. And so if you're tall, I would especially look out for any dealings with short people, no matter how much you trust them, because it's always this subconscious deep, after a lifetime, it's kind of deep in there. Even if you've known them for a long time, it can take a long time to finally come out. And so, yes, definitely be careful with short people. They are not, especially if you are tall, because they are going to be looking to you especially to get revenge. So, yes. Yeah, again, if you are short, I'm sorry about your, well, I don't, that doesn't matter to me. I didn't fucking do shit. I don't really give a shit. I'm not short, by the way. Anyways, that's the end of the video. Bye-bye.